So this is, I don't know if you know who this guy is.
Adam Green.
Yeah,
You are correct.
So
you get the prize.
So he's working with Liz Warren, and he's a he runs that Progressive Change Campaign Committee, which is a tough name to remember. And so the thing is, what's weird is, right, and it's also with Liz Warren, it's like you don't expect nerds to lie, right? Like you watch Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes, and you just think, oh, nerds, they're inherently trustworthy. But then when you really think about it, nerds are the people, you know, they're designing cluster bombs and nuclear missiles, right? So they're the best at cognitive dissonance. They're the most evil motherfuckers in the world are nerds. And this is going to reveal that to you. They're also sociopaths, right? So Liz Warren revealing herself to have a big sociopathic tendency to just fucking bald-faced lie about Bernie Sanders constantly, right? And about her own life, about her dad being a janitor and her kids going to public school and her being a Native American or being fired for people. We go on and on and on and on. It's all made up. She's a pathological liar, just like Trump, which is, you know, politics attracts those kind of fucking people. You know that, right? Barack Obama was a goddamn pathological liar who was in the tank for Citibank, fossil fuels, and the military-industrial complex. But he smiled when he was doing it, right? This guy doesn't even know how to smile, all right? That's all I'm going to tell you. This guy here, now here's a nerd who fucking tries to gaslight you the entire time. So they're going to talk about superdelegates, and listen to his argument. Watch this.
Adam, shouldn't the candidate with the most votes end up being the nominee? I mean, Democrats have been talking for 4 years about the popular vote and how the will of the people should decide. Isn't it going to destroy the party, essentially, if you have Bernie Sanders come into the convention with a plurality of delegates and then it gets taken from him by superdelegates on the second ballot? I mean, that is going to destroy the party.
Yeah, let's not feed conspiracy people online, Krystal.
Yeah, let's not feed conspiracy people online, Krystal, who want actual democracy. That's what he's saying. He's trying to make her look like so that's what's called gaslighting. He's trying to make her scared and off her heels, like, what? I'm conspiracy theorying. What are you doing? Don't call me that. It's meant to push her off her heels. When I met him in Miami, now I've known Adam Green for years, right? Ever since I started working for the Young Turks 10 years ago, I've known him, and we've been friendly and talked to each other. And so when I was in Miami backstage at the thing, he comes up to me and I go, hey, Adam, how you doing? And I said, hey, how are you guys handling this thing where Elizabeth Warren admitted she's going to take big money in the general? He goes, she didn't say that. And I go, for a second, I was like, am I fucking crazy? Because that's what gaslighting is about. It's to make you think you're nuts. And I go, no, she said it in that interview. He goes, what interview? And I go, with Cenk Uygur, right? He goes, show me it. And I was like, oh. And I just looked at him, I go, so this is how you guys are going to handle it? You're just going to lie about it? Yeah. That's what I said, right? Just say, so you're just going to lie about it? And he goes, send me the video with a timestamp. I go, I'm not fucking sending you shit. You're a fucking liar. Send me a timestamp. Go fuck yourself. And ever since that day, I can't stand this guy. Why? Because he's a liar and a piece of shit, and he hides behind the veil of I'm a nerd, and nerds are good people. No, nerds are immoral cocksuckers, just like this fucking guy.
Jimmy, let's not feed conspiracies.
But if you look at this guy, interviewing him is like interviewing the coronavirus. And he just keeps getting worse. Watch this. Here we go. He said, so now don't push conspiracy theories. He said to Krystal, and Krystal doesn't take that shit. That's why I love Krystal Ball. She doesn't take that shit. Watch. I'll back it up. I'll give you a running start. Watch this.
It's on the second ballot. I mean, that is going to destroy the party.
Yeah, let's not feed conspiracy people online, Krystal.
How is that a conspiracy? Your candidate admitted to it on the debate stage last night, as did all the others.
Bam. How's that? That's the only play they have, is to call you a conspiracy theorist when you actually present them with a fact. That's the only fucking play these pieces of shit have. That's it. Conspiracy theory. And I love Krystal. Fuck you. Say the conspiracy theory. They just said it, and there he is looking like a coronavirus. Really, he looks sweaty. He looks like he needs a vaccine.
sure it's affordable.
Boom. My fucking crowd is too up on shit.
Aren't they?
They're beating me to chokes all left and right all night.
No, that's a preemptive stirring up the pie. The person.
So first of all, I don't know if you heard what he said. I have to back it up
But
again
the most-
because what he said is so ridiculous. Watch this. She says that's not a conspiracy theory, but he goes, no.
Did all the others.
No, that's a preemptive stirring up the pie. The person with.
Okay, before I continue this clip, let me just say the guy doesn't even understand pie. You don't stir up the pie. You stir up a pot.
A pie in the hand is better than 2 pots in the bush, Jimmy.
Yeah. And what he's trying to say is people who want a voice in choosing their leader are stirring the pot. Yeah, you know who else are some famous pot stirrers? George fucking Washington. How about that? Everybody goes nuts. All right, here we go. There's more to this. Hang on. Watch this. It gets nuts. It gets crazier. Watch this.
Most support should be the nominee.
So he's saying the person with the most support should be the nominee. Well, that's going to be Bernie Sanders, right? So
It is not okay to win the Democratic nomination on a technicality, which is what some people are trying to do. In a 6-way race.
a technicality, meaning you have the most votes. Oh, you know what pissed me off? I was watching the Super Bowl, and they let the Kansas City Chiefs win on a technicality that they scored more points.
Jimmy, hold on now. Just because they got into the end zone more than the other team.
Technically, they did.
A little bit of a conspiracy theory. They crossed the goal line. There were some guys that were not, pledged referees that
Right.
raised their hand in the touchdown
Technically.
salute. So just let's not stir the pie.
Well, do you guys remember in Kansas City they canceled the Super Bowl victory parade because they thought the win was not definitive enough?
They were waiting for the super refs to join.
Yeah, the
Right.
super
Yeah.
refs. Yes.
Yeah.
Technicality, which is what some people are trying to do. In a 6-way race, if somebody is blocked at 20, 25, 27%, that you cannot argue that they are the choice of Democrat. It has to be a ranked choice voting principle where the Democratic Party can look at, as a whole and say, who's our best bet to win? Who can we all unify around? I don't see how you can defend the proposition that if at the end of the day it is true that only 25%, 27% of Democratic voters want one person as a nominee, they should be the nominee.
Watch Krystal just dismantle this argument.
Some of you look like you're actually in pain.
Yeah.
Some of you are like hunched over and shit.
Well, he's got that weird thing where only his mouth moves the way, like a sociopath just only talks with their mouth like this and nothing else moves. And this is what I'm going to do when I dismantle the body and eat you and boil your skull. That lamp is made from somebody's skin.
My mother, my shelf. So watch he gets even more obnoxious.
Seems a little bit weird to me.
But I think it seems a little bit weird to say that a candidate who did even more poorly than that should be the nominee, though.
Yeah. That, like, a 6-year-old could figure that logic out, Adam. But somehow he thought he would bullshit you if he said it confidently enough and scared her and called her a conspiracy theory and a technicality and people will back down from that shit. That's what he learned at his Tony Robbins training, but that's not fucking happening. You're a fucking nerd and we see right fucking through you, okay? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, again, ranked choice voting. Do you or do you not agree with ranked choice voting?
That's not the system that we have set up. I mean, that's not how this is all structured.
I love how he kept saying ranked choice voting. That's not the process we have in the Democratic primary, cocksucker, and you fucking know that. Guess who else knows that? Krystal Ball, and she just busted your stupid lying ass on that on fucking camera. How does that feel, you duplicitous lying piece of shit that we all see through? Who does this work on? Your mother? Who the fuck believes you?
Liz Warren.
Do you go to a school for the blind and deaf and try to fucking push this past them on Braille? What the fuck? Are you kidding me? Who buys your shit? This is a guy who's never been laid in his life because every woman went, "You're fucking shitting me, aren't you?"
No, this is a guy that after sex, she goes, I didn't come. He goes, let's not jump into conspiracy theories.
He should have stirred the pot more. Huh? I can be dirty. Don't tell my wife.
All right, let's watch the rest of this.
There is a principle that, it just shocks me sometimes when Sanders people talk about one.
So what? So she's asking about there is no ranked choice voting in the primary. You keep making this up. That's not how we do it. And watch how he changes the subject. This is so obvious that he should be embarrassed, right? Because I can catch him. Watch.
How this is all structured.
There is a principle that, it just shocks me sometimes when Sanders people talk about one principle and then fall back on another. Right now, I don't know if you know this. I just learned this week. Bernie Sanders' free tuition bill, which everybody talks about as universal, he actually reintroduced it, and right now it is means tested. I don't hear any clamoring against Bernie Sanders calling him an astroturf progressive for that.
Yeah, hey, guess what? That's not what we're fucking talking about. You totally changed the subject into something else. We're talking about you supporting superdelegates fucking rigging the vote against the will of the people. That's what we're talking about. You want to talk about college? That's another interview. But that's another tactic of a sociopath fucking gaslighter that Adam Green is. This is what happens when you interview a coronavirus.
Adam, I think it's pretty consistent principle to say that whoever gets the most votes should win. And it's something that Democrats have been talking about for a long time. But I'm sure we will continue to have this discussion. I'd like to talk about the student tuition thing as well. So thank you so much, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
We always love having you.
I am thinking about recommending him to my friends at Fox News if he weren't so swarthy.
I like to call him Adam AstroTurf Green now.
He sounds like if a traffic citation had a voice.
Actually, you were 3 minutes past your parking meter, so that is Civil Code 136.553, so it's a $65.
And when I hear that, you know what? All I hear next is ladies' panties hitting the floor. Oh, come on, ladies. How many women out there don't want to get in that guy's underoos? Come on, right? You know he still has mittens that he clips onto his jacket. You know that he fucking has them. Come on, you know he does. And so he tweeted this out. It says, talking about superdelegates is a deceptive diversion. Like talking about Iraq after 9/11. What in the motherfucking... He is off his meds. The real issue is whether elected delegates will pick a majority candidate. But if you insist on diversion, get your facts about what Bernie said in 2016 right. And he links to a video which they edited, which edits out all the parts where Bernie said, I just want the pledged delegates to go along with the people in the states that won. And they made it look like he's not saying that. So they deceptively edited. It's like Bernie's running against fucking Mitt Romney. It's unbelievable, but he's running against people who pretend to be progressives like Adam Green at the Progressive Change Campaign Committee. Just because you put progressive in your name doesn't mean you're progressive. It means you're a lying fucking gaslighter who's a sociopath who hooked up with another fucking Native American liar. How about that? Look at the ratio exactly. So he tweets this out, and look at the ratio. 75 response, only 19 likes. That's a shit ratio. Hey, you know what that tells you? This is a bad strategy, fuckface. And so underneath it, this woman says, what he actually said is that the superdelegates should vote for the candidate that won their state, which is perfectly consistent with wanting to eliminate them entirely. She gets 116 likes on his own thread, and then he comes back and says, no, he did not. Watch the video. You are actively lying if you're watching the video. 1 like. And that's from Elizabeth Warren. And he's got 35 comments. That is a bad ratio. So Adam Green, I don't know why you chose at this moment to reveal yourself to being such a huge, lying, duplicitous, hypocritical, narcissistic, sociopathic, coronavirus piece of fucking shit. But I want to say thank you for doing it. Because now we never have to listen to a fucking thing you say, you psychopathic liar. So I retweeted him and I said, when nerds gaslight, right? And he comes underneath and goes, ha, bully language and accusations of gaslighting together. Wow, it's like Inception. First of all, only a nerd would fucking make that movie reference. And by the way, look at the ratio. One more time. Not one, even Elizabeth Warren was like, fuck this, I can't. This guy is such an unfuckable douchebag.
Liz Warren was like, this guy's such an unfuckable douchebag. I'm gonna kiss Bernie's ass at the next fucking debate. Did you see that at the last debate? All of a sudden she's like, hey, leader, how you doing, pal?
You burned that bridge. You burned that bridge.
I like what Michael Tracy said. He said, in all seriousness, Warren's campaign has been a train wreck. She's attempted to undermine Bernie in the most egregious, self-pitying ways, and now she's a superdelegate dead-ender. So if you're mad about the desire to primary her, you can blame her own political strategy for that. That's exactly right. Hey, the Jimmy Dore Show is coming to a town near you with a live show. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com for a link for all tickets to all our live shows. See you in Minneapolis, Chicago, Miami. Plus, become a premium member of the Jimmy Dore Show. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Go to jimmydorecomedy.com/join. Thanks for your support.